Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and happy Halloween. I know that technically this is getting posted on Sunday, which means that it's the day after Halloween, but I'm totes my goats filming this for Halloween. So yeah, I guess a day late is better than never. But for today, as the title says, I'm doing another Instagram look, and I figured that we would go for something slightly spookier while still keeping it in the realm of my possibilities to potentially have this turn out okay, since we know how great the last few have been. Just utter fails. But what I'm going to be doing for this one is there is a particular Instagram channel, handle, person, thing, whatever you call it for Instagram, and that is Milk1422. And for any of you that are not familiar out there, this particular Instagram channel pushes out tons of essentially like computerized images of different makeup looks, and then they have whoever wants to create the look then recreate it, and then they'll repost it for you. And so it's really cool, and the looks that they come up with are so good and so beyond my capability, but I thought maybe I could make this one happen. And fun fact, it seems to me that the face makeup portion of this is probably going to be easier for me to do than the eye look. And so this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's the liner portion and like the filling in of a few of the patches shouldn't be too complicated. And I'm going to be using the Moon Cruiser highlighter from Kaleidos for some of those more bluish highlight sections, and then I'll be using the Dawn palette for the highlight on the nose and then the upper lip. But that eye look, spoiler alert, I already don't have contacts that look like that, so it's just going to be my eyes. But at least the cat eye look I will be attempting. And okay, I mean, I guess we should just jump right in. I think I can maybe make this thing happen. We'll find out. I did already do my face makeup, and so I have my foundation, some concealer. I did my brows real quick, but that is pretty much the extent of what I have on my face. And so everything else I will be putting on camera, and then I'll just finish up the lip portion with this look. What is this even? Smoking on Screen is the name of the shade. Belle en Argent, I guess is the company, but this is the closest lipstick shade that I could come up with that would match that picture. So we're gonna be doing that one. Glad I didn't declutter it yet, because I never wear shades that dark. Here we go. Enjoy the voiceover. I'm sure it's gonna be great, and this is gonna go great. We can do this. Happy Halloween!
Okay, first up, I fumbled for a few seconds on what part of my face I was going to start with, but then jumped into drawing the lines of the stitches, and for that I was using the Seraphim Botanicals Luna liner, which I kind of quickly realized was not showing up the way that I wanted it to, along with me just not being able to draw lines very clearly apparently. And so after drawing like half of my face, I switched over to the Tartist liquid liner to redraw all of the lines and then continue forward. And for those brief moments where the mirror wasn't blocking the shot, you can very clearly see that I am still struggling to draw the lines straight, but at least now they're darker. Next, I jumped into filling in certain squares, if we can call them shapes, whatever you want, bubbles. I started filling them in with powder, and the first shade that I was using was the shade Release from my Lethal Cosmetics singles shades that I have. And because we would be here all day if I didn't do this, I needed to fast forward even faster than what I already was fast forwarding.
Prepare ship for ludicrous speed!
Definitely gonna have to go back and retouch up those lines that I just powdered over. And quick pause for a nose scratch. Don't forget to powder that hairline as well, kids. Once I was done with the second patch of purplish filling in, I moved on to my forehead and my chin that had two different patches, and I started off with using the shade Catatonic, but very quickly realized that that wasn't really showing much of anything, and so I started mixing Catatonic together with Altitude, which is a bit more of a grayish shade, so that it would show up a bit more. Then I very quickly touched up all of the lines, surveys still out on whether that made it better or not, before jumping into the real fun stuff of actually adding in the stitches. And for that, the whole point was just to add real small little notches as I went along each of the larger seams, which looks easy, but I definitely was panicking the entire time. Once I was done adding about a million different lines, I gave myself a quick reassuring smile before moving on to the eye look. And to kick that off, I just put a real light layer of the Altitude shade that was that grayish shade on my left eye before moving on to just putting a straight black shade onto my right eye. And for that, I was using the shade Basement from my Makeup a Murder Crime Scene Evidence palette. The goal with the black shade was to try and get as even of a coating over the entirety of the lid as possible, and then carry it through the first half of the outer under eye. What? That made complete sense. Moving on. For the inner portion of my under eye, I jumped into the shade Proxy because I had noticed in the picture that there was some teal blue underneath the silver. Then I just essentially recreated everything that I just did on my right eye on my left eye. For the silver shade that's going to go on top of the inner half of my lid as well as over the top of that teal shade, I used the shade Flourish, which is from my Laminatrix Cosmetics Sandra Rose palette. To tightline my waterline, I used a combination of the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade 0 and the Tarteist liquid liner that I had used for the stitching. Once that was done, I jumped into using the highlighter on my cheek, brow bone, and then chin. Initially, I was just using the Moon Cruiser shade from Kaleidos, but I felt like that wasn't giving me the bright blue pop that they had in the photograph, so I started mixing it together with my Lethal Cosmetics shade Proxy that I had used for the inner corner of my eye. For the bridge of my nose, I used the highlighter shade from my Midas Cosmetics Neon MUA Dawn Face palette. Then we jumped right into the lip, and ooh man, did that end up being way more pinkish red than I was expecting. Spoiler alert, that's not the correct shade to be using, so I will be going over it with a darker shade. Took a quick pause to judge myself harshly, and no, my fingers were not able to fix the disaster.
Okay, this is the final look. The only thing that I did off camera real quick was throw some mascara on, and then I did darken the lip shade because the one that I was using was very, very red.
I'm a huge fan of how that lipstick just got literally all over my teeth, but at least I feel like it fits with the Halloween theme because now I just look like I have really sharp fangs. Bet you can't unsee that now.
And so I just grabbed an Urban Decay, this is the shade Voodoo. It's just a lipstick. Looks like this, but it was significantly darker, which I felt like looked way more correct for how the picture was looking. But this is the final completed look. I'm shocked. I think that this is probably the closest I've ever come to actually accomplishing an Instagram look. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you agree and think that this was just a big surprise that I managed this. I'm gonna make sure that I link down below in the description the Instagram. Man, Falco is like snoring up a storm over here. It took me a while. But I'm gonna link the Instagram channel for Milk1422 so you guys can actually go and check out all of the different looks that they post on there, and then you can try out one of them on your own as well if you want to. Better than that, happy Halloween. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe for this. This alone. Come on now. But that was my Halloween video. Hope you guys enjoyed this and just have a good one.